Welcome to Stop the Madness. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Stop the Madness. I'm your host, The Kid Plot. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Of course, I'm here with my co-host, Isaac Cotto. We are back in the building with another great video. But before we get started, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 3K. Man, it's the day after the election.
Oh, it was election yesterday?
We got a new president-elect.
Really?
Yeah, man. But before we jump into that, we got a video we're going to react to, and then we're going to talk about it.
All right, let's do it.
It is now official. CNN projects that Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris and making a political comeback unlike any in modern American politics. Now, we can make this projection now because CNN projects that Donald Trump has won Wisconsin. You can see right there, currently ahead by 30,000 votes with 99% of the vote in. Mr. Trump is only the second former president in U.S. history to be reelected to the White House. He will return to office after two impeachments in his first term, followed by unprecedented criminal indictments and felony convictions. Mr. Trump scoring a landmark victory as he now heads back to power, leading a politically divided nation. Again, CNN projects that Donald J. Trump is elected the 47th president of the United States. Let's go over. Actually, let's just take a quick look at the wall here.
He's going to hit 300.
With Wisconsin, Donald Trump now has 276 electoral votes. Harris with 219. You need 270 to win. He is now over that mark. The 10 electoral votes in Wisconsin puts him over that threshold, and CNN now considers him the president-elect of the United States of America. Let's go over to the...
Bro.
I know they were suffering when they made that announcement.
Yo, because none of them wanted him. I mean, I was watching a lot of the reaction on CNN, and man, like, it's like the world's over. This country's about to blow up.
I was hopping through channels just trying to keep, seeing who's had the most accurate electoral college kind of numbers, and I was just constantly hopping back and forth.
Yeah.
And I basically stood up to 2 o'clock in the morning just to see.
Damn.
I mean, once he was like at 200 and she was like 117 or something, I was like, all right, it's a wrap.
Yeah. And it's amazing because if you listen to any of the mainstream media's coverage leading up to it, they literally made it seem like it was 50-50. Because supposedly that's what polls were showing, that it was going to be 50-50. And if you look at the results, it wasn't 50-50. It was like, I didn't see at any point in time, and I started watching this thing since 6 p.m. because a lot of the polls were closing at 7, and only, I think 2 in Georgia because of some bomb threats closed at 8 o'clock in Lawrenceville. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I was keeping up with it from 6 p.m. all the way till 3 a.m. I didn't see Kamala lead in the electoral college one time.
It was like 100 or something to 30.
Not
like
one time.
But let me tell you, it looks like Trump's going to win the popular vote also, probably by 5 or 6 million votes. Kind of like the way Biden won by 5 or 6 million votes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just a referendum on your administration. Trump won in 2016. Came 2020, the way he was, how he conducted himself, all the issues. Guess what? They gave him the boot.
Mm-hmm.
They come in and they did a crappy job. And the people basically have spoken. Like, you know what? You did a horrible job. Because if they would have done an amazing job, if the economy would have been great, inflation would have been low, whatever, they'd probably still be in power. But they did bad, and guess what? People have spoken, and they're out the door.
Yeah, no doubt. But and if you think about it, Trump is probably going to end up with the same amount of votes as 2020. He ended up with around 74 million.
Mm-hmm.
He's at, I think, around 72 million right now. He's probably going to be around the same number. Kamala is not going to hit. Clearly, she didn't get 80 million,
right,
or 81 million.
That speaks volumes,
right? But let me tell you, in my opinion, I think the reason that is in 2020. More people hated Trump than in 2024. A lot of the people that hated Trump, there's still a lot that still do. But out of that group of people that were voting against Trump, if I can make an argument, maybe 30% don't hate Trump anymore. Of that same group that hated Trump. So what does that do? That eliminates people from voting at all or voting for him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that 80 million people that voted for Biden, whatever amount it was a vote against Trump, because not all of it was against Trump, but there was a great portion of those 80 million votes that were against Trump, not necessarily.
They just wanted to get him out.
Get him out. Maybe 10, 20 million could easily be, you know what? We were wrong about Trump. And now she's at 66 million votes.
Yeah.
She didn't get that 15 more million that he.
There's not, it's not a secret. Like, the people weren't happy with the job that they did. And it reflects in the vote count. It reflects on the results of this election. You had the Black community, Latino community, a lot more voted Trump.
Yes.
And it's a reflection of the administration of the last 4 years. And that's the bottom line.
Absolutely. And I was looking at numbers that 59% of Latino men voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case last time. 59% of Latino men voted for Trump.
He won Florida.
37% of Latino women voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a huge number. Now, mind you, Black women were the least supportive of Trump. Only 7% of Black women supported Trump. I remember these numbers. I just saw them today. And I think it was 18% of Black men voted for Trump. So Trump was like,
was that an upswing from 2020?
A huge upswing.
Okay.
A huge upswing.
Right.
So 18% of Black men, if I'm not mistaken, Trump was probably at 12% last time. 6%
so he upgraded.
Is a lot.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would say moving forward, his speech was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, I would say straight line speech, nothing dramatic, nothing crazy. We're going to fix the country. We need to heal the country. Like that kind of talk, cool. I just hope he maintains that kind of tone.
Right.
I don't need to see Trump in a press conference every day. Let the man make his decisions, but he doesn't have to talk every day. I don't think I heard Biden talk more than 5 times in 4 years. And which is I don't need to hear the
but
president
he can't hide that much though. That's
but
much,
you know what I mean? Like where 16, all he did was get in front of the camera to have these back and forths with the media. It just created this environment.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. He can sign his pen, do everything he needs to do, and move forward, and not say nothing. Just don't say nothing crazy.
I will give you credit. I will give you credit for this. You did call it. You said it would be a landslide, and they're still counting votes. I mean, this dude won every swing state. He won every
when he got Pennsylvania, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's over.
Wrap.
I knew he was gonna win Arizona,
Georgia,
and it looks like he's gonna win Michigan.
He got Georgia.
Got Georgia.
Carolina. Didn't he get both Carolinas?
Yes, he got North Carolina, South Carolina. He won. If you look at the map, it looks like 85% red.
You still got Nevada left. You still got Michigan left. You got Maine left.
But man, it's gonna be interesting now with the next 90 days. Well, you have the inauguration. It's gonna be interesting with the next 90 days. I just hope the rhetoric, the craziness.
Yeah.
Like, we already know your stance on the border. We know your stance on the economy. I personally want to see him apply pressure to the Fed chairman to lower the rates. Those are things I do want to see.
Right.
I'm personally happy that the not the transgender movement, but the idea of putting boys in female spaces is not going to be an easy path for anyone for at least the next 4 years.
Right.
I'm happy about that. I'm interested to see where the economy goes. Now we're going to see if he can make it happen.
Yeah,
we'll really see if there's a real upswing in the economy. Now we're going to see.
Do you think that there's going to be? Okay, before I ask you that, I want to ask you this: do you think Joe Biden needs to come out and speak and say anything? Do you think he should come out and say congratulations?
Yeah, I think the president should, and I think Kamala Harris needs to come out and concede. And hey, turn the page. It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
Learn your lessons. I think the left needs to go more to the center if they ever want to have a chance to compete. Because let me tell you, if Donald Trump does okay they have a good shot of winning again if the right stays where they're at right now on all their issues.
Do you think it was a good look for Kamala to literally not come out at all yet before she even knew? Because they were still counting votes. So before they even knew who was winning, they came out and said, "Yo, Kamala
is not gonna be here tonight."
Yeah,
at her college, and had all those people out there.
Are you literally doing this?
Yeah,
white flag. We don't. It ain't looking good, folks.
Like, I don't know. Like, she should have came out and say, "Hey, we're still counting. It's not over till it's over." Blah blah blah.
Right.
Something like that. What does it cost you to do that? But she was a bad candidate from the beginning. She needed to come out and say, "I'm going to do things differently." If she was going to be the person, she had to do something different.
You know who I blame? I blame the Democrats, the whole Democrat.
The leadership. They made that decision.
Because what they should have done is Biden should have did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to be a transitional president, which means you're going to do 4 years. That's it. Not, I'm running again. And then, no, I'm not running again.
Yeah.
Like, you should have literally said, after these 4 years are done, have them hold a primary, have them get voted so that the person that's running for president was actually voted into that role.
Sure.
Not elected by, anointed. Not anointed by the actual leadership. That's the problem that they had. And they failed them.
They had to go through the trial by fire, right?
Exactly.
Like, as vice president, she never had a big prominent role nationally as vice president. She was never really challenged nationally on camera as vice president. You need to have someone who is ready to take on those tough questions and answer and do all the things. Basically, guess what Donald Trump did?
Mm-hmm.
He did. He went on podcasts. He did it all, and he had no problem answering the questions, good, bad, or ugly. But he told you what his plan was, his position, and he sold his pitch. Where at no point Kamala really answered a question directly, which was
no question. That was word salad goat.
Yes.
But another thing is, this goes to show you that it doesn't matter how many celebrities you have endorse you. It doesn't matter how much money. At some point, I mean, you can have $5 billion worth of freaking money fundraising, and the other camp has 800 million.
Don't matter.
It don't matter.
Right.
Both of those are a ridiculous amount of money to be able to run a campaign. So it doesn't matter who gets more celebrities, because at the end of the day, before you jump in, at the end of the day, the people are the ones that are going to decide who wins an election. It's not the celebrities. Okay, they got influence. Clearly not enough. Taylor Swift was endorsing her. What happened? They still lost. So it didn't matter. Yeah. Trump didn't have the type of celebrities that they had.
No, the moving forward, I would hope they make some changes. They have to move certain positions. It's just, and you have to, when you lose a game, you got to see why you lost that game. Make adjustments and see how you're moving forward. If not, they're going to have a long struggle. You know who pissed me off last night? That damn Van Jones on CNN. He gives this
I was going to bring him up
about there's a woman tonight who's crying and suffering. I'm like,
Van Jones,
nobody doing all that.
Van Jones is always crying. He is always crying.
Someone can't sleep at night because their hopes and dreams are destroyed. Gone. Shut up. You still have the opportunity. Get your ass up and make something of yourself. Stop.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing you said when I was talking earlier, but I couldn't remember his name.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I didn't want to, because I didn't know if you knew it. I'm glad you said it, because as soon as you said Van Jones, black dude, glasses, that's who I was talking about. I mean, this dude he's
married
a baby.
to a white chick.
He's a baby. Exactly. Yes. He's a baby.
I mean, it was just so come on, dude. Really? Like
if Trump is Trump is the person that's going to decide whether you're happy or not. Come on, man. You got to have some type of responsibility.
Hopes and dreams.
Right.
I was like,
come on, man.
And the same thing. If Kamala would have won, the world would have not ended.
No, of course not.
World War III would have not started the next day.
Shit just would have been still expensive.
It would have been past 4 years, and then we have another opportunity to make a change, right? But this whole pull at your heart, the people are crying and they're not going to be able to sleep and their hopes and dreams are destroyed.
And that's the difference. And that's the difference between the left and the right. One side is all heart pull. Let's plug at the heart. And the other side doesn't do that.
I don't know the name of the commentator that was sitting next to him. He was like, hey, don't blame Trump and the Republicans.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Okay.
He was like, you need to blame the Democrats.
Oh, like what I just said. Yeah. Yes.
Like,
yes.
You know, they're the reasons why they lost.
100%.
Like they didn't do what they had to do. You know what I mean? So
think about this. You sit here and complain this whole time that Donald Trump is this, Donald Trump is a threat, Donald Trump is all this, he's a bum, he's a loser, he was filed bankrupt 6 times, whatever. Mm-hmm. All these negative connotations against Trump, how much of a loser he is, right? Mm-hmm. But yet you lost twice to him.
Yeah.
So what does that make you?
He's been the nominee 3 cycles in a row.
What does that make you? What does that make you?
Yeah, no, it's you know, like I said, it's gonna be an interesting 90, 120 days.
Yeah,
I just want to, you know, I'm like, just please don't say nothing crazy.
Well, here's the thing:
like, don't show up and say we're stopping all these Mexicans from cross. Like, just don't do it. Like, just don't do it. Like, we know your position. You won. Just enforce the policy.
Right?
Like,
no, I agree.
You don't have to sell it no more.
The part that bothers me, that I know I have a feeling is gonna be very tough for him to keep this promise. Remember, he said, within 24 hours of taking office, I will have that war over.
Oh, yeah.
He better have that war over. So
whatever. And another thing, I don't know. I'm not a economist or anything, but he likes to say, I'm going to, do tariffs on everybody. And, I saw a video of Mark Cuban. He's like, do you understand how tariffs work?
Mm-hmm. Like, I saw that.
So, China brings in a product, a widget, and he says, I'm going to put 50% tariff on it. So instead of costing $1, now it costs $1.50. Mm-hmm. China says, okay, we'll, have to pay the $1.50. But guess what? Walmart now has to raise their price to cover the cost. Like, it's just something that gets passed down to the consumer.
Right.
So are you really punishing the importer? I don't know how that really works, but if it works the way Mark Cuban says it works.
But here's the thing. If they do raise the price, which makes it more expensive for the consumer, then what they need to do is alleviate the taxes that they're charging us to offset the increase of price. So if they're getting money from tariffs, now you don't need to get the money from the taxpayer, nowhere near as much. Okay, you increase the price, alleviate more of tax, so that way we can still be at a net positive.
What I just, again, I'm not a economist. What I was thinking is the net effect is, if that thing that I used to buy for $1 now is $1.50 and I got to pass it on to the consumer, guess what? The consumer is going to buy less of that thing. And guess what, China? I'm going to buy less of your product.
Correct. Yeah.
So therefore, now China feels the effect of the tariff raising up because it's getting too expensive and people are not going to buy at that price. I don't want that product anymore.
Okay, but at the end of the day, putting tariffs on the products over there incentivize American products.
That's Again, I'm not an economist. I'm just saying the topic of tariff. I was just thinking out the box, like maybe that's how
because if
it affects the other country.
If you're paying $1.50 for a product, Americans can make the same product if they really want to, if they're not getting taxed on it. And then we make product here.
I mean,
keep the money circulating.
It's hard when you can go to India and
which is why I just said it creates an incentive.
To
create it here. You know what I'm saying?
So we'll see how that works when he says the tariffs. We'll see what the wall look. Another issue, and I know we haven't really spoke about it, is about controlling the House and the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
From what I saw and read, that they're close to getting control. Like,
I think they already have control of the Senate.
They have control, but they don't have the majority where basically whatever they want to do would get passed, like because they have a super majority. Mm-hmm. But if they get a super majority, things should happen that he wants to get done, which typically in politics.
As of right now, you have to have 50 for majority in the Senate. The GOP has 52.
Right, but a super majority allows them basically to pass. Sure. You got to have a certain amount of things. A certain amount of seats.
They're up by 10 right now, 52-42.
So I think the number, I don't know what the number is, but if they get to that number, then basically whatever they want to do,
it will get passed.
The Democrats won't be able
to
stop
it.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be interesting. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to wrap things up. Hey, remember, like, subscribe, and we see y'all soon. Comment below. Peace. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel and click here. If you want to see more videos like this, click here.